How's it going, my G's? I hope you're all doing well. And today I just wanted to do a really quick little video on uh, creative droughts and also sacrifice. And this video is inspired by some of the guys in my Discord on Patreon who were having some nice conversations recently regarding this matter. And I just thought it would be a good idea to share some of my thoughts on, what I think about creative droughts in music production and what I think about like how I think sacrifice is quite important as well. And basically I'm going to keep this quite nice and short. I wanted to upload this a little earlier today, but I fell asleep. It is what it is. I'm not perfect. But anyway, so the one thing that I always sort of ask myself when I'm thinking like when I'm going through a creative drought is, am I throwing in the towel for good, or is this just like a temporary thing that I'm going through? And if you always approach things with that kind of longer term mindset and knowing that what you're going through that's creating this drought is something that's temporary and it's not going to stop you from, it's not going to make you completely just give up and throw in the towel forever on, pursuing music production or doing what you love, whether it's for a hobby or for a job. If you can always ask that sort of main, like long-term question of, am I throwing in the towel for good, or is this just a momentary problem that I'm facing? And once you can answer that, then it just makes things a lot easier and smoother in the short term, because I think there's a lot of times in life when little problems arise, and they could be little problems or big problems, and you may not be able to have the time to make music for a long while. It could be perhaps you get hit with some ridiculous energy bill or tax bill or something, and you need to take up extra shifts at work or something like that for an extended period of time, and you just won't have the energy or the extra time to work on your passion. And this is fine, because you can see this as, this a temporary sort of obstacle and stage of your life that you need to get through, no matter how long it takes, until you eventually will come back round and find that light at the end of the lake. So I always have that in my mind, like that sort of light at the end of the lake, in my mind, that I know that I'm always going to come back around to it. So if I'm going through a creative drought, or if I'm facing some personal or unavoidable real world issues, I know that it's just a matter of time, and I will be back there at some point as soon as possible. And the other thing is, I don't always see it as a bad thing, because I feel like, for me, when I'm away from it, I'm kind of charging up, almost like a Venusaur Pokemon Solar Beam attack, where it takes a lot of turns to use. You have to charge up your attack before you can use it. And in this way, I always think like the longer I'm out of the game, this happened this year. I set myself a goal to create one song every month, and I wasn't able to create a song in July or August because I had like a wrist problem. I had like repetitive strain injury, and I just physically couldn't use the computer. And because I've been sort of producing for so long, I knew that I wouldn't let this affect me, and I knew that I'm just gonna take time off. And this is, maybe it's like God's way of saying, like, you need to slow down and take some time off here. So I remember I had a few days just going to like Greece, to Rhodos, and just 4 or 5 days just by the beach, just doing nothing, like no music production or anything, and just enjoying the nature and the sea. And that was absolutely brilliant. And I never felt personally like I wasn't gonna eventually bring it all back home. So I knew that maybe it would take a while for these things to heal up, but I knew that eventually, I'm not throwing in the towel here. I know it's just a phase that, again, I'm going to have to go through. And similarly now, I've kind of been sick for a couple of weeks, and I've had to take a little bit of extra time off again. And but it doesn't It doesn't affect me because I know that every time I come back, I'm going to come back even better than before. That's my mindset, is that the longer I stay away from music production, the better I become when I come back to it. So I find it's always a natural balance. And, if I'm really, really productive and doing a lot of music work for like a long space of time, that's great. And I'm getting loads of work done. But at the same time, when I step back and have to take some time away for one reason or another, I know that I will always come back like even better than before. So it's never like an issue for me. If I need to take some time away, it does not bother me. It does not make me feel depressed. It does not make me feel upset. I see it as this is the time that I'm recharging, and I'm recharging because I know that I'm going to come back even better than I was before. And this is a phase and a life cycle of creativity and music that continues to go throughout my life and will continue to do so. I'll continue to follow this path down, exploring sound and trying to improve and create newer and more interesting songs, basically until my ears don't allow me anymore, at which point I might sort of write a book or something like that. hopefully my ears will still last for a while. But yeah, so I never worry. I always think of things in the grand scheme of time, and every time you have to pull away, I know I'm going to come back stronger, and I'm never consciously thinking that I'm really, really throwing in the towel here for good, because that there's always problems that arise, and there's always reasons why you have to take time away. And yeah, as long as you know deep down that it's not like you're just completely giving up for no reason, which you shouldn't, then you can let these patches where you're not feeling creative, or times in your life where you don't have the time to dedicate to music, you can really see those as a positive thing, as a thing that it allows you to recharge and re-energize and refuel your desire for your passion. So that's the one main thing I wanted to say about that. And when it comes to sacrifice as well, this is kind of just a little bonus thing that I wanted to talk about. I think that in our lives there are a lot of things that distract us from really going after our goals. And for me, that's obviously music production, helping others, as well as improving my own sound as well. So there are a lot of pleasure-based distractions that always take the energy away from me getting closer to my goal, or improving at a faster rate. And so the more that you're able to sacrifice those things, be it like watching Netflix shows, or going on like pointless dates, or like indulging in alcohol and smoking and things like that, going out and partying like a little bit too much, and then sort of being hungover for the whole weekend, like lots of things. Obviously bad diet as well, not exercising, and like having all these things that give you less energy throughout the day. Obviously, the more that you're able to sacrifice some of these sort of more of life's pleasures, then the closer you'll get to achieving your goals. And maybe you can introduce like a sort of reward system where you can allow yourself some of these pleasures, once you've put in enough time and work into actually your goals. And one of the main things that I've learned as well is that when I'm not feeling particularly inspired to write music, I still go ahead and do it anyway, as if it's a job. And I find that with it, just by the act of putting in the hard work, and through the act of the discipline of sort of forcing myself to try and be creative, that actually always inspires creativity to come back, just because I'm allowing myself, I'm allowing for the accidents to happen by putting in the time. And so again, that's a little bit of a sacrifice, because in a way you're saying you're sort of denying your feelings of, what you think you want to do, and just getting to the work anyway, regardless of how you particularly feel. So it's a little bit of a sacrifice in a sense. But yeah, I've sacrificed a lot of things in my life, and it's gotten me much better results. There's probably more things I could still sacrifice, but right now I feel like I'm pretty damn focused. It's just a little bit unfortunate that I've been, getting ill and things like that. But all that aside, I think that there is a lot of good music still to come from all of us, hopefully, the rest of this year. And I just wanted to give this little insight and provide a little positive message and let you guys know how I think about it in my mind. It's that main question of, am I really throwing in the towel right now, or do I just need some time off? And in my case, any time that I do have off, I purely see it as a recharging and a almost refueling my desire to come back and absolutely smash it in a more advanced and more exciting way than I did before I had a sort of little hiatus. So I hope that's a little positive message for you guys today. And much love. Don't do anything I wouldn't. And I'll be back very soon. Peace out.